Kolbrin Bible, Book 5, Book of Manuscripts, Chapter 17, Scroll of Netertat, MAN 17:1. Your servant, Netertat, priest at the temple of the seer of heaven at Lament, found this writing when he was the opener of doors for Pinnakin. It is a writing so old that few could be found who knew the nature of its signs, and they no more than servants of the Kohar. Yet one who has enjoyed peace within your shadow undertook the task of reshaping them with pleasure. For as fire is born of the spark, so are the joys of his life kindled by the brightening countenance. MAN 17:2. The writings of old declare the wisdom of our forefathers, which is the treasure trove of man, and the inheritance of our days. Thus it is written. MAN 17:3. All things on earth are compounded of two flowing powers, the right-hand power and the left-hand power. The first predominates in men, and the second in women. Where they fall nearly equal, the being is neither wholly man nor wholly woman. MAN 17:4. The spirit of life resides in the air men breathe, and is shared with the beast, the trees, the things that crawl, the birds, the fishes, the herbs, and the grass. It quickens the living hearts of men and is diffused through the blood of the body. MAN 17:5. Man sleeps when his spirit departs for refreshment at the fount of its being. Even as his mortal body must sustain itself with things of the earth, so must his spirit seek sustenance in the place of its being. MAN 17:6. In sleeping, the spirit of man departs in part alone. It goes not wholly or as one awakened. When his God calls him away, his soul goes to the place of decision, where fate is decreed. There, by the underground river, the good are separated from the wicked, but the river is not a river of water. In that, all things are made known, and the river is the river of life. MAN 17:7. Outside of man, between God and man, is the reflection of God, which men call nature. It can be disturbed by man and distorted, even as the reflections in a pool of clear water are disturbed by the drop of a pebble. Nature accords exactly with the greater needs of men, with their desires and beliefs, and with what they have deserved. It is also a modifying force, operating upon the conditions of their testing. It is the breath of God expressed in living things. It is, to God, as the material web of the spider is to the living thing. They are separate and unalike, yet one. MAN 17:8. There is a fine, unbreakable thread, one end of which is secured in the spirit center, wherein dwells the everlasting being, the eternal one. The other end is fastened to matter, and between the two is the web of creation, spun out of the single thread of invisible substances by the forming power of God. MAN 17:9. All that we can know, as mortals, exists within the sphere of mortality. All was originally compounded from the fiery dust, the first expression of the outbreathing of God, upon which the forming power operated, as hair grows from the skin of the head, which is nothing like hair, as a tree springs up from the soil, which is nothing like a tree, as the spider spins its web and then withdraws, so does mortal matter come forth from the immortal spiritual substance. As the shadow is to the object that gives it form, so is the material to the spiritual. All things are held together by the spiritual womb web. The form is there, but the shape is here. MAN 17:10. Nature is the spirit of God manifesting in matter. It is the spiritual form seeking outlet and expression in matter. It is the maker, the means of making, and the thing made, though all these activities are in a subordinate capacity. Spirit is not nature. Spirit is the source of all consciousness. which experiences both pleasure and pain. The spirit of man, when in contact with nature, feels the ever-changing conditions of nature. Man 1711. He who understands that activity anywhere is but the working of nature, and that God oversees this labor, understands the truth. Nature is never still. It is ever moving. Man is a creature bound to things ever changing. On the great scales, he is balanced between the eternal adversaries, good and evil. Man 1712. At death, the senses perish, but the memory of them endures. The spirit roams the morning land free, with all its beliefs, its desires, and its memories intact. The arisen man awakes as from a brief sleep, and finds himself in the place of decision. There a body awaits him, as substantial as the one he has discarded.